The call came from Leanne, not for herself, but for her daughter's car. That alone tells you a lot. When someone calls on behalf of their child, even a grown one, it's because they care. They want the job done properly. Not cheap, not fast, just right. The complaint was simple. The gearbox was shot. No big explanation, no guessing, just a clear understanding that the car wasn't going anywhere and they needed help. I've had many calls like this before, but each one is a new story, a new family, a new trust being offered. And that trust, I don't take it lightly. I arrived in Maesteg on a clear warm morning. If you know the area, you know the roads can be tight and unforgiving. Not the kind of place you want to break down. The C1 was sitting quietly in the car park, almost too quietly. I always notice these little things. How a car sits when it's broken can tell you a lot. It wasn't just sitting still, it looked defeated. The family had already sourced a replacement gearbox. All they needed now was someone who could fit it properly. That's where I came in. Now at this stage, I wasn't hired to diagnose, I was hired to replace. But every time I take a car apart, I watch closely, because cars don't just break, they leave clues. As I removed the old gearbox, I decided to drain whatever oil was left. And that's when the real story unfolded. What came out wasn't oil, not really. It was thick, silver sludge. The colour told me everything. Those tiny silver flakes, that was metal. The gearbox hasn't just failed, it's eaten itself from the inside out. And why? A leaking driveshaft seal. Not a catastrophic break, just a small one, a slow leak. The gearbox oil had just escaped drip by drip, unnoticed, until there wasn't enough left to protect the gears. By the time it finally stopped working, the damage was done. Here's the part that frustrates me. The leaking seal? That should have been stopped. Not just by me, but by whoever had last serviced the car. It's a simple inspection. I'm not in the business of blaming other garages, but it's a reminder of why thorough work matters. Cutting corners might save time today, but it costs a lot more down the line. Now, changing the gearbox is never simple, and once it's out, you have to think carefully. The clutch was still in place. At first glance, it might have seemed okay, might have kept going a little longer. But in my experience, that's the sort of gamble that always catches up on you. If I put the old clutch back, it might last 6 months, maybe less. Then we're right back here, removing the gearbox again, double the labour, double the cost, double the inconvenience. That's not how I work. I explained this to Leanne and she understood immediately. That's why I respect customers like Leanne. People who think ahead, people who want to do things once and do them right. She agreed to replacing the clutch. And it was the right call. When I got the clutch assembly apart, the release bearing told me the rest of the story. It wasn't just worn, it was failing. If we hadn't replaced it, her daughter would have broken down again soon, probably far from home, and this time with a repair bill that could have been avoided. So we went ahead, fitted the replacement gearbox, installed a new clutch kit, replaced the release bearing, and checked every seal, made sure everything was clean, and refitted to the highest standard. This wasn't just a mechanic job, it was about restoring trust in the car and giving Leanne's daughter a vehicle she could rely on. Most mechanics would have done exactly what was asked, swap the gearbox, call it a day. But that's not why people call me. They call me because they know I treat their job and their family with care. I'll look beyond the obvious, think beyond today's repair. I'm not just here to get the car moving. I'm here to protect the customer's future stress, to save them from unnecessary expense, and keep them safe. That's what honest, thorough mechanics do. And that's the kind of business I'm building. As I finish up and she trusted me not just to fix the fault, but to think ahead, to care about her daughter's safety as if it were my own family. That's why I do what I do. Not just swap parts, not just tick boxes. Protecting families, building trust, and doing things right. Every time. Have you ever had a repair that could have been prevented with a simple check? Share your stories in the comment section.
They're all blonde.